city provided 600 vegetarian meals for a funeral service held for the Chengzhongcheng building fire accident. In Chile, Tima holds free clinics for disadvantaged students. The company also donated eyeglasses to students in need. Welcome to DaAi Headlines, I'm Hu Chiao. Glad to have you here. For the funeral service held for the Chengzhongcheng building fire, city volunteers invited vegetarian restaurants to provide more than 600 vegetarian lunches, 400 rice balls made by recycling volunteers, and bread, letting the family members and staff who have worked hard for more than a week to take care of their bodies through healthy vegetarian food.
Boil your vegetables, retain nutrition.
Only with Tzu Chi, our guests and the general public, can we complete this task.
We want to promote vegetarian diet and make a good relationship with the public.
We provided more than 660 meal boxes. 2 vegetarian restaurants joined together to complete this funeral service for the public.
2 vegetarian restaurants put delicious ingredients into lunch boxes. On the other side, volunteers from recycling station have also made more than 400 rice balls.
I will shed tears. I wonder why, as long as things happen, I use this power to bless everyone to be safe.
We make every meal with a very pious heart, with a blessing heart.
The rice bowls and lunch boxes were sent to Kaohsiung Funeral Home, where the funeral service for the public was held for the Chengzhongcheng building, because the staff has been with the family for many days.
I've been working here for many days. Having such a lunchbox seems to be full of love and care for us.
There is also a psychologist who has comforted the family members for many days and has no time to take care of the meals.
When I opened it, I was moved. We can devote ourselves to the work we should do without making ourselves tired or hungry.
Taking care of the fatigue of the staff and comforting the pain of the family members, every bite of food is full of sincere blessings.
Surgeons give off a cold feeling when they meet people, but Yu Zhengzhan, director of surgery at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, is admired by many of his patients who find him reassuring and helpful. In fact, some see him to be a bomb diffusing expert in terms of removing tumors, as he hopes to give his patient the best chance of health and survival.
Yun in her 20s was about to start a beautiful life, but was diagnosed with neuroendocrine tumors.
These are the blood vessels of the kidney. The blood vessels of the liver are all over here, so the operation is mainly to separate these blood vessels. You don't have to worry too much. It's me who should worry about it.
Tumors can cause the secretion of cardiotonic hormones in the body. Steve Jobs, the Life of Pi male lead, Irfan Khan, suffered from the same disease. They might have targeted different areas, but it is still life-threatening.
During exercises, it's very uncomfortable, and my heartbeat will quicken, and then my body will feel uncomfortable, with symptoms similar to anemia and dizziness.
If surgery's difficulty level is calculated on a 10-point scale, for Yu Zhengzhan, this surgery's level of difficulty falls at 8. The most difficult thing is that the tumor is located in the subaortic cavity of the abdominal cavity, surrounded by large veins, portal veins, renal blood vessels, and pancreas. The tumor is surrounded by organs and large and small blood vessels, including the blood vessels of the kidneys and liver.
Therefore, the surgery is mainly to separate these blood vessels. If the tumor covers the blood vessels, then what has to be done has to be done.
The whole surgery process can be considered thrilling, like dismantling a bomb. Great care must be taken to separate the arteries and veins covering the outside of the tumor. A slight mistake will lead to hemorrhage. If the renal veins are damaged during the operation, the 2 kidneys cannot be saved.
It's like riding a roller coaster. When the patient's blood pressure goes up, your heartbeat blood pressure will start to rise. And the patient's blood pressure drops, my heartbeat blood pressure will also start to rise. Those are my worries.
After 4 hours of surgery, the result is In the medical scene, where the relationship between doctors and patients is full of variables, Yu Zhengzhan, the director of surgery at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, is always willing to help patients.
It's much like being in a boat on the ocean. The director is like a bright lamp. In fact, he gives hope. He says that he himself is hanging on for dear life.
When we decide to close off the stomach, they may never have a chance to recover from the disease, so I will tell myself that I need to do my best and take a chance. This is my belief, and I really tried to help the patient solve the problem step by step.
Yu Zhengzhan's scalpel has removed ticking time bombs from the human body over and over. Faced with a series of difficult life and death operations, he faces every instance of impermanence with a steady heart.
The pandemic is sweeping all over the world and seriously threatens people's lives and health. Many people realize the importance of health and have responded to Tzu Chi's Health Challenge 21 activities. Cooperate with professional physicians, nutritionists, and restaurants. A plant-based diet was designed to let the participants eat nutritionally and healthily.
In line with the Healthy Eating Plate project, a balanced diet should have less salt, less sugar, and less oil.
In fact, the government also advocates this healthy eating plate project. In order to ensure we get enough nutrition, I came today to learn from them so I can do the same at home for my family.
As we are already vegetarian, we eat simple meals at home without much variety. However, I found out I can eat vegetarian and still have a balanced diet.
The online opening ceremony of the Health Challenge 21 ended successfully. Tzu Chi Malacca chapter provides 2 solely plant-based meals a day for 117 participants for 21 consecutive days, hoping to reverse their eating habits and share the benefits of vegetarian food.
I have high cholesterol, so I wanted to give it a try. Because during the pandemic, I mostly stayed at home. I just follow their diet, that is, with a little bit of rice, vegetables, and beans.
My cholesterol level is quite high. I joined this event to see if my health condition can be improved.
I have sinusitis and my nose has been blocked for a month. After I ate the vegetarian meal for 3 days, my sinus is clear and there is no blockage anymore. In the first 2 days, I felt the meals tasted very light. I wasn't used to it, yet my daughter likes it very much.
Let's wait and see how the physical condition will be improved by the vegetarian diet after 21 days.
In Chile, Tima organized a free clinic for disadvantaged students, and also an eyeglasses company cooperated to donate eyeglasses to children. Many children do not know how to protect their eyes because they are studying online for a long time under the pandemic. Through the free consultation, the doctors also gave them eye protection reminders.
A big step forward, still cannot see clearly. Ask and ask again, just to be more certain about the degree of correction. Tzu Chi came to school to organize a free eye clinic for the children. Professional medical staff joined the ranks.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for inviting me to participate in the free clinic. I am very happy to participate in this event. It's a great, well-planned team. I'm very happy to be able to help many children and thank all those who participated.
Y haber podido participar en este lindo operativo con todas estas personas que pudieron ser atendidas, en conjunto con el doctor y también mi colega la Cristal. Así que muy agradecida.
New immigrants from Haiti who live in Chile for 5 years. After the detailed examination by Dr. Yu Zhengzhan, her fishing problem was resolved.
No, yo agradecer nuevamente, nos sentimos privilegiadas nosotros como.
Thanks again to Tzu Chi for giving children a chance. Some mothers have brought their children to wear glasses.
Con nuestros niños, están felices, algunas mamás ya vieron los lentes, están espectacular. Así que
During the pandemic, because the children are learning online, many students have worsening eye problems. So we do our best to help these students get a pair of beautiful and cheap glasses so that they have no major problems on the way to study. Now we are here to complete this meaningful activity together with the Tzu Chi Foundation.
This gift from the glasses company is important and precious to the children.
During the COVID pandemic, many college graduates without any work experience find it difficult in finding a job. According to Indonesia's Central Bureau of Statistics, COVID has caused nearly 5.2 million people across the country to lose their jobs. Some have even tried to start a shoe cleaning business to help make ends meet.
Ivan, who has a bachelor's degree and graduated from a well-known university in Indonesia, is looking for a job like 5 million other people in the country. After graduating in 2019, he originally planned to find a job, but when the pandemic struck, it was difficult to do so. There were fewer job opportunities during the pandemic. While waiting for interview notices, he tries to improve his design and writing skills through social media and occasionally takes on part-time jobs.
Jadi saya lulus di akhir 2019. Sebelum masuk pandemi kan tuh ya. Jadi akhirnya berjalannya waktu.
I graduated in 2019. Before the pandemic hit, I felt that my part-time job was unstable, so I started looking for a full-time job as early as 2020. In fact, it has been more difficult than I imagined. I applied for jobs everywhere. Many companies have closed, and I even interviewed 3 times, but there was no good news, as some companies are no longer in business.
Interview tuh 3 kali. Dan akhirnya gitu, programnya nggak jalan karena pandemi. Terus cluster COVID di perusahaannya, dan akhirnya perusahaannya tutup.
The same is true for Amerzad from Boger. Although he has applied for more than 10 jobs, he has not received any good news. For him, college students who graduate during the pandemic have faced the same problem. Even so, he didn't give up. He went door to door to provide shoe washing services for customers temporarily.
Di masa pandemi itu, saya lulus ini menerima kesulitannya ketika melamar pekerjaan ya.
During the pandemic, I had difficulty in finding a job. This is because there are fewer job vacancies now. Later, I decided to provide a shoe washing service to pay my daily costs. At least, it is enough to pay the electricity bill.
Yang bernama Sukawas ini untuk menambah biaya sehari-hari gitu pendapatannya seperti itu.
According to data from the Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics, the national job vacancy rate in April 2021 has been reduced by 75%, resulting in an estimated 5.2 million people being unemployed across the country. In order to assist the unemployed, the government has also launched the pre-employment card program. In fact, it's not easy to apply for a pre-employment card because each batch of registrations is limited.
Pernah ikut daftar kartu prakerja, tapi
I have applied for a pre-employment card, but I haven't received any news yet, so I won't apply anymore.
Udah nggak pernah ikut lagi gitu seperti itu karena tidak ada kejelasan aja seperti itu.
Therefore, those unemployed can only hone their skills to enrich themselves. For them, the only way out is to wait until the pandemic subsides before making any future plans.
Dibilang stres ya bisa juga sih.
If you ask me if I'm under economic pressure, I do feel it. Before the pandemic outbreak, I can go out whenever I want, but now I can only stay at home. I hope it will calm down soon so that industry can return to normal.
Para pelaku-pelaku usaha bisa aktif kembali di bidangnya masing-masing dan
lebih cepat menyelesaikan masalah pandemi ini agar semuanya.
I hope the epidemic will subside soon so that things can get back to normal. I hope the unemployed can find jobs. The impact of the pandemic has left many people unemployed.
Sedikit, akhirnya banyak orang yang tidak mendapatkan pekerjaan, ya akhirnya banyak juga pengangguran seperti itu.
It's nearing the end of the year of 2021, and as the pandemic is once again easing, the Indonesian government is slowly lifting the restrictions. The government is continuing to quicken the steps to get their people vaccinated to reach their nationwide goal. In many of the communities, mobile vaccination stations can be easily accessed.
To speed up vaccination for its citizens, the Jakarta city government employed 16 mobile vaccination vehicles to head into populated communities to provide service. Among the 16, one is located in front of the Manggarai rail station in southern Jakarta. This mobile vaccination clinic is open from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon and is able to service 250 people per day. Residents who are over 12 years of age can bring their identification to register on site or pre-register ahead of time online. The village chief of Manggarai says to avoid crowding, they have set up a straight route for vaccination. There is also a pandemic safety measure team on site to monitor the situation.
We are using a one-way route method, starting from the registration to the seating area. This way, order is kept and distance is observed. We also avoid crowding at the entrance and exit.
Local residents are very enthusiastic about the mobile vaccination station, as they no longer have to head to the health center, which can be further away.
I am for the mobile vaccination station. It serves not only residents of Street 4, but also the surrounding area as well.
I don't need to go very far. It's within walking distance.
Residents of Manggarai can still receive their vaccination at the local health center or the vaccination stations run by the military if they can't make the hours for the mobile vaccination clinic.
Besides natural disasters, what gives farmers a headache is the rice weevil hiding in the barn. In order to prevent rice weevils from eating grains, the Taiwan Agricultural Research Institute studied rice weevils while discovering the misunderstandings of local farmers. The biggest misunderstanding is that farmers think rice weevils are from the rice fields. With such misconception, the preventative measures taken by farmers often lead to bad results. In order to solve this issue, TARI sent experts across Taiwan to inspect rice factories. Using science to solve farmers' questions, let's dig in.
We'll use gauze in order to block rice weevils from exiting to environments outside and also to block them away from nearby barns.
Every day, the battle between humans and insects can be seen here. In the rice barn, rice that is stored for 2 years hosts tiny creatures that are too tiny for the human eye to see.
In the factory, multiple types of rice weevils are a common problem, though they are most commonly seen in places with the present rice.
Twisting their bodies and eating rice, these rice weevils seen here are the most common type. With the sharp teeth that is designed to eat rice, these pests cause problems to many farmers.
Where there are a lot of insects, the temperatures generated by rice weevils due to limited space is high, and under high humidity, the rice weevils will cause germs to grow in their own environment.
Though rice weevils are generally used to describe people who gain anything without effort, it actually is classified into multiple types. There are rice weevils that can fly or crawl. The flying type is only one of the types amongst many other.
In the world, there are about 500 types of rice weevils, and there are actually much more than that. In Taiwan alone, there are approximately 100 types of rice weevils with 20 common types.
Rice weevil expert Hu Chiao brought out his LED insect trap. Inside the trap, thousands of rice weevils are captured. The trap utilizes a special light wave, attracting rice weevils and then trapping them in the container.
Because the rice weevils will crash into the light, which will trigger them to suspend animation after it falls down, we designed a slide which will transport bugs down. When the insect is at the bottom, it cannot escape.
In order to prevent rice weevils, researchers utilize the perspectives of chemistry, physics, and biology. For example, fumigation utilizes chemicals to remove pests. Insect trap is a form of physical traps. The traditional method relies on chemistry, yet on a food security perspective, it is not suggested to use chemicals as it can also affect food.
During fumigation, the medicine will turn to phosphoric acid. The acid in particular will damage the human body, and it is classified as a toxic category 2.
After Tari's several years of research on rice weevils, researchers discovered that barn management staff often has misconceptions of rice weevils. The biggest misconception is to think that rice weevils only appear in rice fields.
Pests in rice fields and pests in barns have completely different habits, so we classify rice weevils as a field pest, which causes damage to farmers. This theory will lose its value because something is lacking.
The real issue is actually found in the rice barn. Among the tunnel to transport rice and the devices used to mill rice, the corners will have potential pests.
At the bottom, there will often be leftover rice hulls, and bugs love to hide there to reproduce. If new rice arrives at the device, the newer rice will carry the bug source outwards.
Every time before we purchase rice, we will inspect each device in our factory and clean out the rice hulls.
To combat pests, the best solution is to be more careful. With a higher temperature, rice weevils thrive. On the day of the report, the barn measured about 36 degrees Celsius, a perfect temperature suitable for rice weevils to reproduce.
If the lesser grain borer is in a place with temperatures lower than 22 degrees Celsius, it will stop flying. If the temperature exceeds 22 degrees Celsius, it's now 36 degrees Celsius, which is a temperature suitable for them to move or fly around.
The most effective way of keeping rice weevils away from crops is to apply low-temperature environments. Therefore, the Wufeng District Farmers Association spent millions to acquire cold storage devices.
If it's low temperature, the rice weevil will have less activity, which will then bring them into the period of hibernation. If the temperature is higher, the rice weevil will start reproducing. It's in a tube right now, and there are about 10 points on each tube. Each point represents a different temperature.
It's best to understand rice weevils first, solving pest issues in order to deliver good rice products to consumers. As the pandemic situation in Canada eased, Tzu Chi volunteers began to hold training activities, allowing people who aren't able to go back to Taiwan receive certification through an online ceremony. Growing up in the Tzu Chi family, Wang Zhuyun can finally wear the Tzu Chi uniform. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.